my first question for you to kind of break the ice is if you had to organize and put together a heist of your own, who would you want to recruit onto your team and why? It can be living or dead.
It's so funny. Um, I'm, I'm, I'm a terrible parent, but I don't know how. Oh, I do know how. So I had to do an audition where I was a doctor, right? And so my son and I decided, and my littlest one, we decided to go to like a medical supply place. And while we were there, I'm getting one of the fucking stethoscopes, right, to hear shit. And my son was like, "Yeah, that's how they rob banks." And so it got into this whole thing, and we got into this whole idea of how, if we were, not that we are, if we were a team of bank robbers, this is how we would do it. And so I don't know, I think I would choose my son, probably leave my littlest one at home, just
Okay.
child labor laws. But my son, he's definitely old enough to to rob banks with me.
Okay, great. You can make it a family affair.
A family affair. Exactly.
You had some pretty great fight scenes, and I was hoping you could talk a little bit more about your training for the film and how hard it is to kind of get those sequences right, and what
Um,
your favorite parts of filming those scenes.
my favorite part are when they call action is obviously the most exciting because it's also the time where if shit does go wrong, as much as you prepared and have gone through it and watched, the our stunt team was so great and they would uh, videotape everything that you as your stunt double what you would do, and so you can kind of visualize it and visualize it and visualize it and rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it. But when the camera starts rolling and the uh, adrenaline starts pumping, it's hard to keep things straight sometimes, and so you just kind of have to keep going with it, and it can. That's where the excitement kind of comes from, or the part that I love the most about it is, at the end of the day, you don't know. You might get punched in the face.
Yeah.
If you forget anything, but I don't know. That's kind of the fun of it. And I feel like I might have jammed a finger on this one. That was a while ago when we shot it, but I think I might have had an injury.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sounds very exciting.
Very excited.
On a little bit more of a serious topic, uh,
Mhm.
Righteous Thieves deals with a lot of themes of like anti-Semitism, and the first opening scene is about a little boy who escapes a concentration camp. I was hoping to get your thoughts on the rise of like mainstream anti-Semitism and what about this movie's plot kind of spoke to you in terms of like the message it was trying to convey?
Okay. Why I originally even related or felt something for this script when I first read it was, we all know the history, we all know the facts, we all know, but it's hard to uh, sympathize or empathize with a bunch of numbers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And and so what this story did, or at least for me when I read it, was change your perception of, oh, it's a bunch of numbers that you're reading on a book or a history book or in the library, to something tangible and something that I guess I understood as me, Cam, understands, from the perspective of an artist who you know, like to take someone's art. I mean, and one of the rules that I have, and even in my house, is if any of my kids create any sort of art, the idea that another kid, and we got, you know, there's a lot of inner fighting, the idea of another child of mine destroying their older sister's artwork um, is just, that's one of the main rules in my house. You cannot destroy each other's artwork. You can't take it, you can't steal it, you can't take it as your own. And so it's such a concept that I understand, I guess maybe as an artist or as a dad, I'm not even sure. And that's what struck me so strongly, was that these people are just stealing artwork that, one, doesn't belong to them, and it's taken in such a violent way, where it was more relatable than numbers that you're reading in a book.
Mm.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, when you can kind of separate those two and just kind of make it a little more personal, and remove the stats and shit, and kind of cut to what people, or at least what I understood, it becomes a little more powerful, and yet somehow easier to understand and grasp and see it from a different perspective, which, you know, when I read the script, that's immediately what I felt. Was it was easier to digest a different perspective, and a way that, at least for me as an actor, artist, I understood it.